Baron Trump, known for his sharp tongue and controversial moments in the public eye, found himself in unfamiliar territory during a live interview where he tried to challenge and undermine legendary actor Denzel Washington. The setting was a primetime television panel meant to highlight American cultural icons and youth voices in leadership, but things took an unexpected turn when Baron began targeting Denzel with veiled insults. His words were dressed in forced politeness, but the crowd could sense the condescension. It wasn't just a clash of generations. It felt like a calculated attempt to provoke a man who had earned decades of respect across the world. Baron, barely hiding a smirk, questioned Denzel's relevance in today's fast-paced, digital-first world. He mocked the idea of traditional actors influencing real change, suggesting that Denzel's era was dusty with dignity but empty of real action. The moment sparked visible discomfort among the audience, many of whom had grown up inspired by Denzel's on-screen power and off-screen wisdom. Cameras zoomed in to catch Denzel's reaction, expecting frustration or rebuttal. Instead, what followed was a pause. A long, measured silence that commanded attention more than any angry retort could. Denzel leaned slightly forward, eyes calm but intense, and began with a simple statement. "Baron, wisdom doesn't come with Wi-Fi." The audience erupted in soft laughter and applause, but Denzel wasn't done. He spoke not just to Baron, but to everyone watching. "You don't measure a man's value by trending hashtags or follower counts. You measure it by what he leaves behind, how many minds he opens, how many lives he uplifts." His voice was steady, rich with the gravitas of a man who had lived what he spoke, not just posted about it. Baron shifted in his chair, the smugness giving way to unease. Denzel, never raising his voice, continued with precision. "I've walked through Hollywood doors they said were shut to men like me. I've played roles they never wrote for us and made them unforgettable. And every speech I give, every story I tell, it's to remind young men that strength doesn't come from stepping on others. It comes from standing for something." His words were a clinic in composure and character, hitting harder than any insult could. As Denzel spoke, the atmosphere shifted. Even the host, caught between nervous anticipation and awe, allowed the moment to stretch. Denzel turned his attention fully toward Baron. "You're young, that's not a weakness, but it's not a crown either. The world doesn't owe you respect because of your name. It owes you nothing. You earn everything by listening, learning, and leading with humility." Baron looked down for the first time in the conversation. The live audience was completely silent, captivated. And then came the line that would trend across social media for days. "Don't confuse attention with respect. The world may watch you, but will they remember you for good?" It wasn't just a rebuke, it was a redirection, a rare gift in a world quick to cancel and slow to teach. Denzel didn't destroy Baron. He elevated the moment into something far more powerful, a lesson in grace under fire, in legacy over noise. Baron had hoped to rattle Denzel, but instead he'd received a masterclass in manhood. What followed was an uncomfortable silence from Baron, who seemed visibly affected. There was no witty comeback, no clever pivot, just the reality of standing across from someone who had mastered both his craft and his character. Denzel ended his response with a simple nod, signaling he was done. Not just talking, but teaching. The audience broke into applause again, but this time it was deeper, not just for Denzel's poise, but for the rare beauty of witnessing truth delivered with dignity. After the show, social media lit up with clips of the moment, calling it a spiritual slap and the lesson Baron didn't know he needed. Many young viewers expressed newfound respect for Denzel, admitting they'd underestimated him. Others criticized Baron's approach, saying he mistook provocation for intelligence. But one thing was clear: Denzel had not only defended his legacy, He had extended it by choosing to uplift rather than retaliate. His words would echo far beyond the studio lights. In the days that followed, Barron made no public statement about the incident. Insiders claimed he was advised to let the moment pass quietly, but the silence only deepened the impact of what had unfolded. Denzel Washington had reminded a generation and a young provocateur that the loudest voices aren't always the strongest, and that real power lies in principle, not popularity. The encounter, meant to humiliate, had instead become a timeless lesson broadcast live and burned into the hearts of millions.